Hello, good morning. I've been on a knife sharpening kick where I'm wanting to teach people how, because I've spent a lot of time researching so I can understand fully on microscopic level of how a knife gets sharp and how a knife gets dull. Now somebody did this for me once. I don't know if it was YouTube or I don't remember. But they had all the pictures and facts to back up what I'm about to say. I don't have that. But the person I had teach me this had microscopic pictures of steel. Okay? So you can see what a dull knife looked like and what a sharp knife looked like. In a nutshell, a sharp knife is like a saw. You see the fingers? That's why when you cut, if you pull your knife, it cuts way better. If you saw with it, see what I'm saying? Your nice sharp knife has little teeth all in a row, kind of like that. And a dull one looks like this, okay? I'm exaggerating, it's maybe more like this. So when you're sharpening, let's pretend this is your stone that you're sharpening your knife on, and this is your knife that's dull. If you start grinding forwards at it like this, you're just cutting all your teeth off. And then this, cutting all your teeth off. If you push your blade into the stone. Now if you do it the other way and pull it, then you flip your knife and you pull it, you're gradually straightening out the teeth. Think of it like that when you're sharpening your knife. And then you come over to the strap and you polish them. Get it? To where they're like perfectly aligned and all nice and polished on the edges. So your saw knife thing, actually a knife is like a saw if you look under a microscope, for real. I think I'm overdoing it here, but you get the idea. You want to try and straighten your teeth out, not grind them off. Because you're just grinding down a knife if you're doing it the backwards way. Let's get a stone and a blade and I'll show you for a second. Now, I'm not going to abuse my knife. I've got this one razor sharp already. I'm not going to abuse it. But let's just kind of pretend here. Let's just use this like it's a knife. It's a hive tool, big deal. If you start pushing and grinding, one, you're tearing up your stone and you're not really helping your knife, okay? I've watched people that do it this way. They'll sit there and push and push and push. And that's not how you do it. You pull it. And pull it, see? Pull it. That'll get it sharp. You don't need to be grinding off material when you sharpen your knife. That's a mistake. Okay? I hope y'all understand what I'm trying to teach here. There's something that's in books and it's poorly written, and you know, I misunderstood. I've watched people where, I mean, my Boy Scout book had some weird knife sharpening instructions where you was doing a figure 8 where you're pushing and pulling. I disagree with that because of the microstructure and how that works. Think of it like straightening the teeth and you'll be a lot better at sharpening knives and you won't have to take material off. You shouldn't have a whole lot of blackness on your stone when you're done. But you do want to wipe your stone off and keep it clean. Run it under the water. Gets the pores clean to where it works better. Clean it out. And you couldn't make your knife razor sharp. When you buy your knives, you probably want to stick with Case or Buck or some old school brand, and stay away from the exotic materials. Do not use stainless steel knife blade or titanium. You'll never be able to sharpen it. It's so hard. I imagine they'll keep an edge for a long time, but if you ever dull it, then you're kind of done because the material is so hard. I couldn't imagine trying to sharpen a titanium knife. I wouldn't even try. A lot of times your knife blades are case hardened. What that means is only the surface is hard. Underneath is soft. And once you start grinding your knife blade off, all the hard is gone. And you're just, then it's easier to get it dull, and you got to sharpen it more. So try to get where you're not grinding off a lot of material to sharpen your blades. It's not that hard. It shouldn't be that much physical work to do it. It's easy and quick, and you can do it. And once you get to where you're maintaining your edge razor sharp, it's very easy. It lost the edge, so you just take it to the strap it a little, and you got your edge back. It's not that hard, and you shouldn't be grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding. I used to watch my dad sharpen his knives, and he was like me, old school and very not much to it. And I've inherited his knives, and they're not all ground down. Here's a buck knife that's I think he probably bought it in the 1980s, new. So it's 40 some years old, going on 50. And it's not all ground down. It's pretty much got this same edge as it had on it. But I've sharpened it quite a lot. I don't know what type of blade it has, if it's case hardened or not. Why you would want case hardened? Well, so your blade don't snap. If you start hardening steel, how you do it is you heat it up cherry red hot and then drop it in oil or drop it in cold water and quench it. And it'll freeze the microstructure of steel at a certain place, and then it's very hard and brittle. If you do that to your knife just to make it harder, you'll make your knife where you can just snap the blade off. Case hardened is a strange process where they heat the metal up, but not cherry red, or not quite cherry red. I couldn't tell you, I'd have to look it up in my books. But they pump carbon dioxide into the oven where they're heating the metal, and the metal absorbs carbon from the air, from the gas, let's say, and it carburizes the surface of the steel. It doesn't get all the way through, just on the surface. And it's a way to harden things to where they're good and hard, yet soft too, to where it'll bend a little. So you're doing a heat treatment on the steel to make it harder, but not make it more brittle. That's the key. Case hardened is what they do on gears. If they needed gears hard, they could make them hard, but they'd be brittle and snap. And then just, that would make a mess, especially if it's harder than everything else around it. Then that destructed gear tears up everything else because it's so hard. That's why case hardening is a thing. It's because you could have softer material underneath that could take the, you know, the abuse and not break. And then the surface doesn't wear because it's hard, or doesn't wear as bad. That's why case hardening is a gear thing. Someone would ask about this online, and I'm like, it's troll bait. They're trying to get me to comment in their thing so that they can delete it and then go, ah ha ha ha, we hate you. And you know, I'm not going there. I know what case hardening is. And they want to know what good products are on the market for duck hunters with case hardening. And I'm like, gee, that's a dumb question. Really? A pocket knife, I guess? Gears for your John boat lower unit or something? You tell me, man. Why are you asking such a stupid question in a duck forum? Case hardening is like engineer talk. And in a duck blind? Really? You want to discuss this? Go away, troll boy.